Well, I guess while we're waiting on people, I can gonna go ahead and do my intro. To people who don't know me, welcome. My name is Chef Afi. All right, so we got some people walking in. I'm gonna let them in. Hello, Regina. Thanks for coming in. I'll just kind of like chit chat a little bit while I'm letting people in because, like I said, we have this recipe today is actually super fast. I didn't realize how fast it was until I started looking at it. I was like, oh, it's super fast. So we can like chit chat just a little bit, and that also gives me a time to let people in, and then we people won't miss the recipe because it'll kind of fly by pretty quick. Sometimes I actually will use a grill pan to do today's recipe, but I'm in a kitchen that's not above a hood and I don't want smoke today. So we're not going to do it that way this time, but I'm going to give you a tip on if you wanted to grill this. We are almost technically fully in watermelon season. I see a lot of watermelon coming out, but I wanted to do this recipe while it's still kind of nice and chilled, but not too hot. I'm a big fan of watermelon. I don't know about anybody else, but I love it. Well, welcome, guys. I am Chef Afi. I do a collaboration in lieu of with Better Spaces for a healthy work day. It's kind of like to break up your work day. And I basically teach you lunchtime quickie recipes that you can convert or just eat as right there for you at that time for lunch, or you can take it for dinner. All of the recipes that I teach guys are plant-based, which just means there's no animal byproducts. I am a vegan vegetarian, long life. And yeah, today's recipe has watermelon in it. Today's recipe is a watermelon vegan feta arugula salad. So arugula is just this nice aromatic leafy green that I like to use. You can actually cook with arugula. You can eat it like a salad. And then this is a dairy-free vegan feta. It looks literally just like the traditional feta. It's in crumbles. This company is called Follow Your Heart. They do dairy-free, what you would call like dairy products, but there's no lactose in there. So if anybody's lactose intolerant, and this is actually not a cashew base, so it's not nut based. This actually has potato starch, tapioca starch. They use lactic acid, which gives it that tanginess. It has a little bit of coconut oil, and it is delicious. When I tell you delicious. And they sell them at all different stores. Follow Your Heart makes a vegan mayo, which just means there's no dairy in it. They make vegan cheeses. And by far the brands that I'd like, it would be Follow Your Heart. There's another brand called BioLife. They are all in national store chains. So wherever you're watching from, can you put in the chat where you're watching from so then I can open up the chat and say hello to you? Once again, my name is Chef Afi. So let's talk about what we're getting ready to do here. And then we're going to follow up with a Q&A. So feel free to have those questions ready for me because I'm going to ask you some questions or you can ask me questions. All right, so I have my chef knife. Every time I'm teaching a cooking class, I always do what is called a knife skills demo. And with that being, I'm going to show you the proper way. Awesome. I love it. Thanks, Karen, for telling me. I've been to Illinois before. Awesome. PA. Awesome. Hello from Florida. Awesome. Awesome. You love BioLife? Awesome. I love that company. I actually just used their cheese last week. But yeah, I love it. I have family who lives in Florida. I drove through PA yesterday when I was coming back from Atlanta. That's where I'm originally from. I'm in Bloomfield, New Jersey. That's where I am. That's where my mother is from. So back to the recipe. Let's see where I was. All right. So holding your chef knife. You're going to grab your hand around the handle, depending on whether you're a lefty or righty. I'm a righty. Place your thumb on the front part of the handle, just like this. With the opposite hand, you're going to curl those fingers under. So literally what I'm going to do is just cut inside the watermelon. I really don't try to eat watermelon until like late spring, early summer. And the reason being is because it's added sweetness. Awesome. Let me let someone else in. Dolores. Awesome. Beautiful. Hello, Dolores. Welcome. Can you put in the chat where you're from? I'm just starting the recipe. I am actually cutting the watermelon. Today's recipe is a watermelon vegan feta salad. All right. So I literally just cut those in. Awesome. John, come on in. Beautiful. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So I just cut this in slices.
Hi.
All the way across. And then I cut slices this way. And then we're just going to take our knife and we're going to go around, back through. And your cut is already done, guys. Watermelon is one of my favorites. Hi, Dolores. Watermelon is one of my favorite fruits. It is very hydrating. When you're dehydrated, say you don't have water, watermelon is the next best thing to use. All right, so we're just going to cut these chunks up a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to put them in a bowl. Sometimes I seed them because these do have seeds in them, the black ones, which I don't want to choke on a seed. The little white seeds, you can pretty much, if you want to pull them out, you can. The black seeds are normally which ones I actually do pull out. And I'm literally just cutting these in chunks. That's all. You don't need to do a lot. We're going to do a dressing that's going to go over it. That's going to have a rice wine vinegar and sesame oil. And I'm going to also squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in that. All right, so we want to make sure we get those super cut. Get all those seeds out of there. All right. So I shop at a lot of like farmers markets. All right, let's let Elano in. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm just getting started. I just cut my watermelon and we're doing a watermelon vegan feta salad. All right, this is arugula, guys. It's literally just a really green leafy leaf that you use for salads. You can cook with it. You can use it just like that. So I'm just going to place this in the bowl here. We're going to make a delicious salad. So if I were in the kitchen above my, let someone else in here. If I were in the kitchen above a hood or a vent, which is usually above a stove, then I actually would take this watermelon and I'm going to slice it and then I'm going to put it on a grill pan and we're going to grill it. Grilled watermelon, you say? It is actually delicious. You can actually cook watermelon if you didn't know that. All right, so I'm going to start with that amount right there, and then I'm going to place my watermelon chunks on top. When it is super hot, this is a really good, refreshing salad. So what I like to do is kind of like a layered salad. So I put some chunks down there. Hello? Not sure. Hello? Okay, don't know what happened with that. So I'm going to add one more layer of the arugula down. Hi, Jade, how are you? All right, so we got that. I'm doing layers so that you make sure that all of your salad has your ingredients. All right, so we're gonna add some more watermelon on top, just like that. I love snacking on watermelon. And like I said, if you're ever dehydrated and you don't have water, please drink your water though. Watermelon is a great substitute. It has 95% water and it has a lot of good hydrants in there, like antioxidants to help you when you need to hydrate. All right, so we have that. I'm going to scoop these back into my bowl here because I don't need this right now. I purchased a lot of my ingredients from a local farmer's market that's literally right down the street from where I am. And it has all of the great vegetables and produce there. And all of these produce items that I'm using today come literally straight from the farm. Can you make sure you mute so that everybody can hear? Thank you. All right, so we got that. I don't need that at the moment. We're gonna take this and leave that over to the side. I don't need that. All right, let me clear off my cutting board a little bit. Just want to clear it off because watermelon is literally really a messy fruit, but it's a good fruit. Awesome. All right, so that's your base. All right, so then we're just going to take our feta crumbles and we're just going to sprinkle those in just like that. Isn't that a beautiful salad, guys? Look at that, it's beautiful. And I'm gonna save a little bit of this. And like I said, this is not a nut-based company. They use tapioca starch and potato starch and coconut oil to make their products. I do use nut-based cheeses when I'm at home, but if I'm teaching a cooking class, I don't normally use a nut-based like dairy-free product like almond milk or something. I might use oat milk. to teach because I don't know who I'm teaching and some people have nut allergies. All right, so let's make our dressing really quick. Let's get our bowl out here. I'm going to cut my lemon just like that. We got a juicer here. And I don't know if you guys know that depending on the color of your juicer, they juice different things. So technically, this is an orange juicer, not for lemons. The lemon juicer is actually yellow. And that was something that I didn't know just a little bit. I didn't know that until like just recently. I was like, why is this one so big? But it's literally for oranges. That's why. All right, so we're going to squeeze that lemon juice in there. If you don't have a juicer, you can go old school and squeeze it in your hand. I would just recommend you use some gloves and then maybe like a strainer, because lemon juice getting stuck on your hand, literally sometimes you find out that you might have a little paper cut or something you didn't realize you had, and the lemon juice will find it for you. So I like to use a juicer. That way I don't really have to touch the actual product. All right, so we're gonna put those under there. Get my juicer out of the way. So that was just one whole lemon that I squeezed in. We're going to do some rice wine vinegar. Hello. We're going to do some rice wine vinegar. So when I'm doing culinary, guys, sometimes I don't measure. I just kind of guess. So I think this is probably about 1/3 of a cup. So we're going to add one more. And you can use apple cider vinegar. You can use balsamic vinegar. Hello, I think I lost you guys for a minute. Are you guys there?
We're back.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened. It seemed like somebody came in and all of a sudden I just lost the video footage. All right, we're back. I don't know what was going on with that. All right, so hope I didn't lose you guys too much. All I did was squeeze lemon juice, and then I added what was 2/3 of a cup. All right, so we're going to add, let's see, 1/3 of a cup of toasted sesame oil. If you're allergic to sesame seeds, don't use this. You can use avocado oil, you can use coconut oil. I just like the toasted sesame oil because it gives kind of like a real nice nutty flavor without being nuts. This is actually a seed. So we're just gonna mix that together, just like that. Awesome. Well, it smells so good too. Awesome. So now we're gonna pour this in the bowl here in my little dish. And then we got the dressing all together. All right, that's pretty much our salad, guys.